Speaking of strategic depth, the US is struggling on this front when it comes to China. So they've dispatched their latest emissary to manage ties. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, he's visiting China this week. It's a 3-day trip. It has 2 stops, Beijing and Shanghai. He may have a meeting with President Xi Jinping, although it won't be a pleasant conversation because China is ready with a long list of complaints, and it starts with Taiwan. Listen to this.
We resolutely oppose it. We urge the United States to take concrete actions to honor its commitment and to not support Taiwan's independence and to stop arming Taiwan in any way.
What is China protesting about? A spending bill that US lawmakers have passed. It was passed just before Blinken landed in China. And what does the bill say? The US is giving military aid to Taiwan, $8 billion of it. Obviously, Beijing does not like that. Then there is TikTok, the Chinese app. Washington may ban it. And they're also threatening to sanction Chinese banks over their business ties with Russia. So a lot of flashpoints. Blinken is set to face the proverbial firing squad. China's tone is combative and aggressive. 2 days ago, before Blinken's arrival, they released this video. The Chinese released the video showing off their nuclear power. This video features a Chinese nuclear submarine firing a ballistic missile on the high seas. And what kind of missile is this? It's called the JL-2. China unveiled it in the year 2019, and the US sees it as a threat because of its range. If deployed at the right location in the Pacific, this Chinese missile can target the US. It can target the entire western half of America, including high-profile targets like Hawaii and Alaska. Now, we do not know if this was a recent test or if China is just using an old video here, but the message they're trying to convey is quite clear. China is reminding America about its strike capabilities. Blinken may have seen this coming because earlier this week, he had a message of his own.
When it comes to Russia's defense industrial base, the primary contributor in this moment to that is China. We see China sharing machine tools, semiconductors, other dual-use items that have helped Russia rebuild the defense industrial base that...
You see the argument that he's putting forth. China is helping Russia fight the war in Ukraine, and that is America's charge. And he plans to bring it up during this visit. What else is on the agenda? China's military activities, particularly the drills near Taiwan in the South China Sea. Blinken plans to raise both issues when he meets his counterpart Wang Yi on Friday. Reports say this meeting could last for up to 6 hours. And in the run-up to the meeting, both sides are talking at each other, so do not expect a positive outcome, let alone a breakthrough, which has been the case for the better part of the last 3 years, because for any diplomatic initiative to succeed, you need some common ground. But when it comes to the US and China, there is little that they agree on. On key issues, they have major differences. In the Indo-Pacific, for example, the US and China are on opposite sides. On trade, China accuses America of slapping restrictions, while America complains about Chinese oversupply. And this is impacting the overall relationship. Let me show you a survey that came out last year. It featured American companies. They were asked about US-China ties. 46% of these companies said the relationship will deteriorate. And they were right. American investments in China are shrinking. And there's little to suggest that things will look up anytime soon, especially with the US presidential election approaching. There's going to be more rhetoric and hardening of positions to suit political purposes. Both Democrats and Republicans want to look tough on China. Biden faces a difficult rematch against Donald Trump, and Trump is a known China hawk. Biden cannot afford to look soft or appease China at this stage, so expect more tough talk. The US president likes to say that America and China are competing with each other. But from the looks of it, the competition has turned into confrontation, and no side can afford to pull their punches now.